Okay, so if you want to do a pair of socks and you want to do contrasting, almost hit myself in the head there. Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty. Welcome to episode 98 of the Love and Stitches podcast. Today is Monday, March 8th, 2021. I have so much to tell you about in today's podcast. It's been almost 3 weeks since I last podcasted and so much has gone on. We went to New York, we're back, we have a trip coming up. I've got some projects I've been working on. I just have so much to tell you. Oh, and I have a winner from the last podcast episode where I'm giving away a t-shirt from Magnolia Design company. Questions to answer. I mean, we just have it all today. I am fighting with my lighting in this room because you can see behind me is a nightstand. Right next to me is a bed. I've said this before, I think, but like I really need to put a light like here, but I can't because there's a bed right there. So I think I might, I'm going to be podcasting probably one more time from this room. This is my mother-in-law's guest room, and I might move to another side where I can get my lighting. But anyway, I'm fighting with the lighting today. It's also almost 10 p.m. because this is the time when I had to do it. We're moving, it's crazy. And so it's going to be an interesting episode. It's always interesting when I am more tired because I just start to say crazy things. Who even knows? So anyway, it's going to be a good episode. So let's dive right in. I actually have a finished object from February. These are my February socks. They are so bright and pink. I love them. They are from Spectacular Yarns. I haven't even blocked them yet because I just haven't. But I made these for myself. I knit them from the toe up, 60 stitches with a fish lips kiss heel. I think I did 40 rounds for the leg, 15 for the cuff. And then I did my super stretchy bind off. I have had quite a few questions lately about like the bind off that I use for socks because it doesn't flare a whole lot. Whereas for me, when I do Ginny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, mine flares really badly. It may not for you, but it just does for me. And so I use this one. I learned it from somewhere. I have no idea, but it is in my toe up sock series on the cuff and bind off video. So if you need that link, go look there. It's a really great, bind off for toe up socks because you just have to have a special bind off or it's not going to work. So yeah, these are finished. These are February socks. I am participating in the rainbow sock along. However, I have not even started March's socks yet. So who knows? I think the color was either like peach or red maybe. And I have some peach somewhere, but I have some gift socks to make and I forgot to bring the yarn over, but I think I'm going to work on those instead. I participate in make-alongs just for fun and motivation. I don't ever really submit for prizes. I forget to, so it's okay. I'm breaking the rules. I might jump back in April. We'll see. I also have made a couple of these little Tulle Kitchen Scrubbies. This is a free pattern of mine called Tulle Kitchen Scrubby. They are so great. So basically you take tulle, which is just that like mesh nylon netting. And what I used to make them, I used bolts of fabric and I would like cut them and tie them. And then I learned that you could roll and cut in a spiral. And then I learned that they make them in 3-inch like ribbons basically. And that's what I use to crochet these. So I use a size J hook, I believe. And they make these, it's just 3 rounds. It's free. I've got it, I've got a download, I think, on Ravelry, but I also have it on my blog and I have it as a tutorial as well. Super, super easy to make if you know how to crochet in the round. And they make the best replacement for a sponge. I don't use sponges anymore in the kitchen. I hate using sponges. To me, they smell and they don't do a good job. I guess if you have like the scrub side, that works. But like they don't get food off, they smell, they're gross and stinky. So I use these. You can use sponges, it's totally fine. I'm not gonna judge you. I like these, and every single time I run the dishwasher, I throw them in. I keep 2 in my sink, 1 for dirty dishes, like getting food off of dishes, and 1 for when I'm actually cleaning dishes. Keep them separate. I use different colors. And that's just what I do because I'm a clean freak and I like it. But anyways, I have a couple of spools of that left and I just want to use it up and be done with it. So I have made a couple of those. So that's all for finished objects, but I do have some whips going. Okay, this, I don't even know where I was the last time that I showed you. I'm pretty sure I was right here, but I just wanted to let you know that I still have my Slipstravaganza project. Oh yes, from the make along back in October. It's still here. Woo! I think I'm at the point where I need to just bind off. Yeah, I've done that row of main color, and then I'm going to bind off in the main color, an I-cord bind off. And I think there are 900 something stitches, and it's an I-cord bind off. So if you're not familiar with I-cord, it's like a rounded edge, and to do an I-cord bind off, for every one bound off stitch, you have to like knit 3 or 4 stitches, and it takes a lot longer, but it is so worth it. So I haven't done that yet because I really want to sit down and do it. I might break it up kind of like Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady. She did 30 minutes a day. I think it took her 5 days. I might do like an hour a day or something like that. I don't know. We'll see what time I have coming up here in the next few weeks, but I need this project done. It should have been done a long time ago, but we went on a trip and I didn't want to take it with me. So it's been sitting in the closet for 3 weeks untouched, but I do still have it, still top of mind, and one day I'll get it done. Speaking of other projects that need to be finished, I have been working on this design for quite a while. It's gonna be my playtime cowl. The ball of yarn has like escaped. Okay, so I finished a double loop playtime cowl. I have a playtime shawl. This is a crochet pattern too that has the same stitch pattern in it, and I think I want to do a cowl. I think that will be very pretty. And I realized that the double loop version uses just over 1 skein, and I didn't really like that. I wanted to see if I could make it a 1 skein version. So here I am, I'm working on the 1 skein version. It is about like an inch or so shorter than my original one. Okay, maybe like 2 inches now that I'm holding it up like that. It's a little shorter. It's also a little narrower, but I'm trying to make it work with 90 grams. So then if mine is 90 grams, I feel pretty good about telling you that you only need 100. I always try to build in a little insurance. So I've just finished my last bit of these crisscross stitches, and I have this much left. So I'm not sure that I'm gonna make it. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna try really, really hard to see what I'm gonna try really hard and see what happens, I guess. I can't really control how much yarn a project uses. If it needs to use 110 grams to be a functional item, then that's what it has to be. So we're just gonna see what happens. What else am I working on? Okay, I have my Screpa, which is a brioche cowl. So it's so funny. We were in New York and it's, winter, obviously. It's March and spring is coming this month, but it was cold in New York City. And then we come back to Dallas and it was like 75 degrees, I think, the next day, which makes it really hard for me to want to work on cowls and scarves and stuff like that. But I am working on it. I actually did this amount yesterday during our, I have a little Zoom with the Insider membership, and I got a lot done. And so this is called Screpa. It's a free pattern, and it is just plain brioche, except at the top it's going to have some lace and stuff. So, fun and reversible. And it's just a really calming project. I love using single ply yarn. I just realized I haven't told you about any of the yarn. My projects are linked down below, so you can go and see what the colorway names are and stuff, except for this, because it's a design. This is, I think she just changed her name from Farm Girl Fibers to Raven Moon, Raven Moon Dye Works. So that, I hear someone in the garage, so you might hear a little bit of noise. But anyway, this is Hooker's Corner, and I'm using 2 of her colors. I think this one's called Hooker's Corner, and this one I believe is called Daffodil. Without my usual setup, I don't even know where my labels are. I think they're over there somewhere. But that's really fun and calming to work on. I just love the motion of brioche. It's repetitive and comfy, and it just feels really, really good. And then my last whip, this is really the one I've been working on this week. Throughout all the craziness, the move, everything that's going on, I've just needed a calm and simple project. And we've been going back and forth from my mother-in-law's to my house, which is about a 30 to 45 minute drive, just depending on traffic. And a lot of times we're coming back at night, so I need something simple. So this has been perfect. This is a Musselburgh hat by Isolde Teague. It has kind of taken over, like, I feel like at least my circles, like who I follow and everything, by storm. I've seen so many people working on this hat. So this is a hat. You start at the very top of it, do some increases, and then you have just so much stockinette. I think this is where I was when I left for New York, which was the last time that I podcasted. And then I have done all of this honestly in the last week or so, just like knitting in the car and knitting at random times. It's just been like the project that is there for me, and it's easy and I could just work on it. And so that's been really, really nice to have. So I am somewhere just over 12 inches, and I think I have to get to something like 18. I need to look at the pattern again. I did not put my yarn in a cozy, so now it's a disaster. I should have found one of my cozies. I think I have like a fiber bothering me there. Anyway, so that is the Musselburgh hat, although I think it might be pronounced differently, but if you know how to say it properly, please let me know, because I don't recall. All right, I think that's all of my projects for this week. It is awesome. Okay, so this is a perfect time to say thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative people just like you and me. They have topics from illustration to design, crafts to music production, and even productivity or freelance and entrepreneurship. So I have been working on my skills right now, and I have been trying to learn Adobe, what is it called? Adobe Creative Pro, which is an editing program which I can use for the podcast and vlogs and everything. So I have been working on learning that, but now I have a new skill I am learning on Skillshare. I am learning all about cameras. So I brought my cameras over here. I have a new camera, and then I also have my husband Ken's old camera. So I've got like this one that I need to learn how to use, and where did my other one go? Here it is. I've got this little like vlogging camera, and so I have been looking at classes about how to use those cameras, how to get focus and everything, and I promise you soon you're gonna see a big like change in the quality and everything of what I'm filming. Also, because I'm going to figure this lighting out, and I am really, really excited and can't thank Skillshare enough for teaching me those things. There are so many cool classes on Skillshare, from knitting and crochet classes to ones that help you just propel your hobby forward, maybe into a career. Skillshare is super affordable. A yearly subscription is less than $10 a month, and that gives you unlimited access to hundreds of classes. So the first 1,000 people to use my link down below will get to try Skillshare Premium for free. Make sure you jump on that, because it's only the first 1,000 people, and I know we have more than that watch the podcast every single week. So let me know what things you might want to be learning, and maybe we can take a class together. I think that would be really, really fun. Okay, back to my notes over here. Let's see what is up next. Oh yes, let's do some questions. I've got quite the backlog of questions here, because I didn't get to answer them in the last podcast because it was live. So let me find out where we were. Perfect. Okay, the first question today is from Victoria Markison. Hi, and thank you for the great tips last episode. I finally got to actually knitting and finishing a pair of socks thanks to you and Kay. However, I have an issue. The socks fit great over the heel, but at the foot, it seems like there is too much fabric on the top of the sock. Is there anything I can do to adjust this? The bottom is perfect and maybe even a couple rounds short, but the fabric on the top of the foot is already too much. I'm struggling adding a picture here, so I will DM it to you on Instagram. Well, now that I've read the question fully, I have not seen that picture yet. I need to go look at that. Thank you in advance, and thanks for all the great tips and help you give each episode. Oh, thank you, Victoria. That's so kind. So what I was thinking when you first said that your socks are too big on the top, imagine these are your toes. I was thinking there was like too much fabric maybe this way, like you could pinch some fabric here But when you said rounds, it made me think that maybe there's too much fabric like this way. Like it's fitting around your foot fine, but it's like too long for you on the top of your foot. Maybe you're getting some bunching, like, here we go, here's a leg. Here's toes, your ankle, leg. Maybe it's bunching up here and here from the length. That's what I'm thinking. So I would say that this might be an issue with the heel that you're using. Whatever heel that you're using, you're having to knit enough to get through the bottom of your foot, and that's giving you too much on the top. That would be my guess. So I think you might want to experiment with different heels, especially if you, oh, hold on, let me fix this. Hopefully that's been okay. Oh, sorry guys. I've tried to clip it like that, but it doesn't want to stay very good. Okay. Anyway, you might want to try out some different heels, especially if it's your first pair of socks, because changing the heel can change things a lot, and it can make it more comfortable or less comfortable, or even like you find that different members of your family like different heels. But I would definitely encourage you to try different heels. I'll take a look at that picture on Instagram soon, and I will have to see what that looks like and let you know as well. If you have any tips for Victoria, please let her know down in the comments, or come over to the Ravelry group, which is where I'm getting these questions from. It's the Love and Stitches Ravelry group. So just head over there and you can submit your question and help out answer them. See, I told you late at night we get a little crazy, lost for words. All right, next question is from Slay to Walker 92. Hi Natalie, I remember when you first launched Love and Stitches. You had recently completed the R-Eat sweater, and I actually purchased the pattern and began the project. It's actually in hibernation. I have not reached the split for the sleeves. I never hear you mention this, and I'm wondering, do you still have your sweater, or was it a donation in one of your recent minimizing adventures? Very curious, because I'm trying to decide whether to bring this project to current rotation. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the R-Eat. I have it pulled up actually. It is a open front cardigan. It has some lace in the back. Underneath my hair there is actually like a gather. It's really cool. It's fun to knit. And then the two fronts are kind of like that angled look, which is not, it was definitely super popular several years ago, but now everything seems to be more boxy, more straight. But I do still have R-Eat. I haven't worn it, like I don't wear it as much because it's blue. Like the color of it for me doesn't work with my wardrobe as much as like gray works, I guess. And so I just haven't worn it as much, but I do still have it. I did not get rid of it in the declutter, and I do intend to keep it for a little bit longer. So I would definitely bring it back into the rotation. It's a project that, or it's a sweater that I really do like wearing. Okay, next question from Lori Ladybug. Hello, I am doing a swatch for a sweater. Would it be best to knit the number of stitches listed or a bigger sample to then see if the stitches measure 4 inches? My head wants to just knit the number of stitches listed, but somehow my head is also telling me that that's the lazy way. Okay, Lori, I love that question. So she's asking, when you are making a swatch for a sweater and it says, I don't know, 16 stitches equal 4 inches. Should you cast on 16 or should you do more? So you're right, you should probably do more. You do not want to, and this is in crochet too, you do not want to do the exact number of stitches that they tell you and then try to measure for 4 inches over your entire swatch, because your edge stitches do not measure the same as what's in the middle. So you're gonna have a really far off calculation if you measure your swatches that way. Always measure in the middle. And you don't have to measure over 4 inches. You can do the math and measure over 2. So if it's 16 stitches equal 4 inches, then you would know 8 equals 2. And you can just do that in the middle of your swatch. But yeah, I would do a few more. I usually like to do whatever it says for the gauge swatch, plus 3, so that gives me, plus 6, that gives me 3 on each side. So if it was 16 stitches over 4 inches, I would do 16 plus 6, I would cast on 22, and then I would measure the middle 16 or middle 8 for 2 inches instead. So that's a good question. And then Lori had another question. How do you handle adding new skeins when you run out? After weaving in ends, some places have left a slight hole behind. So I do a really simple technique. I literally just drop the old one, go into the next one, and just like kind of create a loop. It's hard to explain like without showing you, but basically I would just like go into my next stitch. Let's say that over here is a new skein of yarn. I just like literally pick up the new skein and like drop it over my needle and start knitting with it. I leave a tail and everything too. And this does leave a hole if you don't weave in your ends a particular way. So the way I weave in my ends when I do that is I make sure, like, if you just like hold up your knitting, your ends are kind of hanging straight down, and the space is just, it needs to be tightened a little bit. Tighten your stitches. And then when you weave in the ends, they're hanging straight down like this. Weave this one in that way, like cross it over, weave it up, down, whatever you're doing, and this one that way, so that they cross and close up that little hole that you're gonna get. That seems to really help a lot. Should not have worn my microphone like this. I'm worried. Fingers crossed that everything's okay with the audio. The lighting's crazy. The audio can't be off either. So try that. It really does help a lot. Last one for today. This is from Quiet Comet Crochet. Hi Natalie, I've been watching for just over a year now and finally started my first sock. Your tutorials have been super useful. I am excited to finish my first sock, but I wanted to ask, how much yarn does it typically take to do contrasting toes, heels, and cuffs? Thanks, Katie. Oh, Katie, thank you so much for being around for a whole year, and it sounds like you're a big crocheter, so I'm excited we've got you knitting socks now. That's so awesome. Okay, so if you want to do a pair of socks and you want to do contrasting, almost hit myself in the head there, cuffs, heels, and toes, you're going to need quite a bit of yarn. So normally if you want to just buy like a mini skein, it's going to be either 20 or 10 grams. If you get a 10 gram mini, you're probably, now this depends on the size sock you're making and the kind of heel that you're doing, but you're probably going to be okay just doing one of those, either just the cuffs, just the heels, or just the toes. The toes, I'm almost certain, because toes don't take as much yarn. If you have a 10 gram skein. If you have a 20 gram skein, you're probably going to be okay doing two of those things. So like cuffs and toes, or heels and toes, or whatever the one I missed is cuffs and heels. Haven't seen that a lot. That doesn't seem to be as popular. You're probably going to be okay, again, depending on the heel type and the size sock you're making. I struggle to do heels, toes, and cuffs out of a 20 gram mini. It's close. So each component takes different amounts of yarn. The heel that I do is the Fish Lips Kiss heel. So it's just like this right here. So it does not take a lot of yarn compared to other heels. So I could probably, with my size foot, squeak out with a 20 gram skein, heels, toes, and cuffs. I would definitely start those socks at the toe, and I would knit them in tandem, or at least split my 20 into 10 and 10, just to make sure I don't run out, because if you run out by the time you get to the cuff, you could always just make the like ribbing shorter or something, but you don't ever want to run out at your toe, right? If you start it with contrast yarn, that's not going to work. It's not going to be a completed sock. So I would say, I did do this once, and I want to say I used like around 3 grams for each heel. I think so, around 3 grams for each heel, around 2.5 grams for each toe. So that's already 5 and 6. That's 11, right? Okay, and then probably 3 or so grams for the cuff. And that is, wait, did I do that right? So this would be 6. Let's just say 6 is 12, and 5 is 17. So it's possible. But again, I would be wary until you've made your size and your type of heel. I would start toe up, just so you don't run out at the toe with your contrast yarns. So I hope that helps. I would say like around 3 grams per element, like being a cuff, heel, or toe per sock, is going to be a good starting place. But definitely, like, if you have a scale, weigh your yarn, knit one of them, and then weigh it again and see how much it uses, and then you'll know like where you're going to be. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. I love getting to answer those questions. They are so much fun. You guys are so like come up with such good questions. And I feel like it's hard right now, especially when you can't just go into a yarn store everywhere and ask those questions. And sometimes you don't have a yarn store around, so ask away. I am happy to help. All right, we have a little bit of news. The first I want to do is our winner. Okay, so this t-shirt is from Magnolia Design Company. It's so cute. It says plan for the day and it has coffee, knitting, and wine. I saw somebody else had one that was coffee, I think it was coffee, knitting, and, or maybe just like a ball of yarn because they're a dyer, and then like a little like highball glass, which I thought was cute too. But I'll put her website down below. I do have a winner. I pulled it from the last podcast to give away one of these shirts because they're super, super cute. And that winner is Sand Pell. I hope I'm saying your name right. I was excited to see your name because I do recognize it from just, I think, different comments and maybe Instagram. So congratulations. I know that you live in sunny Arizona, so I am going to be getting that prize out to you. Oh dear. When I come back from my trip, if you will email me at natalie@knittynatty.com with your size, and I think maybe I needed some other information, but let me email me and we'll get back and forth and I'll get you your prize here very, very soon. So congratulations. Thank you to everyone for entering. And if you want a cute shirt like that and to see many others, check out Magnolia Design Company down below. Okay, the next announcement is about our membership, but I have a really exciting social event this month. So if you are not a member, you might want to join for this month and do this social event because it's going to be really, really fun. So we are going to have our social event on March 19th, which is a Friday in the evening. And we are going to have our first special guest. I'm going to do an interview. And that person, that special guest, is none other than Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. So if you want to ask Kay any questions, this is your chance to get to ask her, get an exclusive interview with her, and it's going to be really, really fun. I can't wait to have her live and in person on Zoom and get to ask her all of your questions for everyone in the membership. It's going to be super, super fun. So now's your chance if you want to sign up for the membership and get to come to the event with Kay. It's going to be great. So other than the social events every month, which vary, like we've done a game night, we did last month, we did like a, it was almost like, well, not really. I was going to say it's almost like speed dating, which is kind of funny for February being Valentine's, but we did like breakout rooms, which was really fun. I think we're going to do that again because I really like getting, people mixed in with each other and getting to know each other. And then we just started doing, oh, sorry, I didn't get to finish what I was saying. You get the social event every month. You also get to join our private Facebook group, which is very active. We chat with each other all the time. And then the other element is, why am I forgetting? What is the other thing? Okay, I'm blanking right now. I don't remember, but we just added something else. And the other thing that we added is our Zoom groups. So we now have Love and Stitches membership groups every single day of the week. We have several on like the weekends, and then we have 1 to 2 every single weekday. So pretty much if like you're ready to hang out and knit, somebody is going to be on there ready to hang out with you. And we've got like our different groups that meet. We've got some of the ladies that live over in Europe, the UK, and Germany. They like to meet where it's really early here, but it's afternoon for them. And then we have some people here in the US who get up really early and meet with them. And it's really, really fun. So that is a new element that has been added to the $10 Love and Stitches membership. It's $10 a month, month to month. So you can join in for us with Kay, see if you like it, choose to stay, or, decide, I just wanted to see Kay. And then decide that. But it's a lot of fun. I'll have the membership description and link and everything down below. I'm forgetting something from the membership, I feel like. Hang on, let me go to knittynatty.com and see what maybe I'm not. Maybe I've got everything. Oh, our make-alongs, our quarterly make-along. So this quarter we've been doing brioche and also anything new to you, because we do have some crocheters, so don't worry, we make our make-alongs very inclusive for all different skill levels and craft types. And so we've been doing that. And then coming up next month, I haven't announced it yet, so I'm not going to tell y'all here, but it's going to be really, really fun what we have planned for the rest of the year. So those are exclusive make-alongs, and I have exclusive prizes. I am looking at where the prize is. It's a really cool one for this one. Okay, anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about life. All right, guys, I have a lot of updating to do, so I need a sip of my iced tea here from, I guess somebody went to Jack in the Box earlier. Somebody literally handed this to me as I walked in the door after work today, and I didn't ask questions. It's an unsweet tea, and yep, I can't believe I'm an unsweet tea drinker now. I don't know what happened to me. I used to always drink sweet tea. Healthier though. Okay, let's talk about life. So where did I leave you last time? I had already announced that we are moving to New York. So if you have missed the last couple of episodes, we are moving from Texas to New York City very, very soon. So the last podcast episode I did was live in New York City because we were there looking for apartments. So I think that's where I last left you. So we were in New York for about 14 to 16 days, I think. We did not plan on going for that long. We actually planned to go for about 10 days, and we had to leave some time on there because when you travel from Texas to New York City or to New York State, you are supposed to quarantine. And of course, we wanted to respect those rules. So we did our we had to take a test here and then go quarantine for 3 days and take another test. And then as long as those were both negative, we were good to go, and we were, so that was good. But anyway, so we planned for about 10 days, and then at the end of 10 days, maybe at the end of day 9, Kent and I were like, we're not sure if we're ready yet. So we were like, well, we can extend our trip. Nobody had to be back for work, so we did. And so we extended the trip and we stayed a little longer, and we found ourselves an apartment. By the way, you're probably going to hear lots of noise because the garage is right here, and now people are bringing stuff in and out, and probably voices. This is what's happening tonight. So that's what was happening. We had so much fun in New York City. I have appreciated all of your insights and tips and places to check out, and I'm gonna need all of that and more when we actually move back as I get to know our new city. I'm really, really excited, and we are just moving there because we can. Today was my last day of school. I'm last on my campus. I took some time off to go to New York, and then I went back today to kind of clean my things out and say bye to everybody. And my coworkers made me a nice breakfast, and it was just really, really great. And so I feel good about closing that chapter. It wasn't like I had to leave. I loved my job. I loved teaching. I loved where I was. But okay, let me back up. I loved where I was working. I loved my coworkers, and I loved the kids. Teaching was always something that was, for the last 7 years, that has been a great job for me. But at the end of the day, it still was a job for me. It wasn't my passion. And I really learned that knitting and doing YouTube is what I am all about. And so I have the opportunity now to get to try to make this dream work and make it a living for me. And I'm really, really excited. It's been my goal ever since I think I started YouTube, which was 2 years ago, and it's finally coming to reality. It hasn't hit me yet. I think it will soon, but that is what we're doing in New York City. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Kent already works from home, so it's going to be not difficult for him to just pick up and move. And why New York? Well, we just wanted to do something different, and it's definitely going to be different. I'm going to be sharing all about our apartment search and our where we're actually living and how I'm getting settled in the new place and getting everything organized over on my other channel, This and That, which is all my home organization stuff. So if you're interested in things that are I guess knitting adjacent, but more about my life, that's going to be over there. But all things knitting are going to be right here. So don't worry, when I set up my new yarn space, that's going to be on here. I just have so many things. I'm so excited to do that. I decluttered a lot of my yarn. I was actually giving some to kids today, and I did a video when I was decluttering everything. So if you haven't seen that yet, I'll link that one too for you guys. So we were in New York. We found a place. All we did basically was like get up every day, look for places to live and eat and walk. I took the subway a lot. We just did a lot. It was really, really fun and really cool. Oh, I went to a yarn store while I was there. There's several yarn stores. Several of them are in Brooklyn. We were in Manhattan. We're going to be living in Manhattan. And we went to one in the Upper West Side, I believe, if you're familiar with the city. And it's called Knitty City, funnily enough. And they were really great. It was actually quite a big shop. They had a table to sit around that just wasn't really open because of COVID. Everything was kind of opening back up in New York when we were there. And but they had like 3 people, I think, working there, 3 people working there and getting yarn out, and it was really great. I got some boring sock yarn because I got like Cascade sock yarn, which is not super exciting. Like, it's not a hand-dyed yarn, and so it's somewhere. It's going to be my next sock cast on because I'm making socks as a gift, and they're for Kent's friend, and so he helped me pick out some like manly colors. And so I need to cast those on here soon so I can get to work on those. But anyway, I'm excited to go around to yarn stores. All of that will be on here. You know it will. Okay, so what's up next? Today was my last day of work. We don't move until April 1st. We move into our apartment, and we're going to leave here at the end of March. It's going to take us a little while to drive up there. We're going to have toaster and all the stuff that we're keeping. We're going to stop in Nashville and see my family since they live there, and go to the yarn store in Nashville. Of course, I want to go to Bliss Yarns and see my friends at Bliss while I'm there. And then we're going to be in New York. So it's going to be a busy time. Tomorrow, we are actually going on a trip to Florida. We're going to go to Disney. We haven't been to Disney. We went one day in December for like 4 hours. But before that, we hadn't been for almost a year, which is a long time for us. I know for some people that's like, a once in a lifetime trip. I never even went growing up. So now that we go all the time, it's like amazing. I feel super spoiled and grateful. But we're going to go to Florida, visit my brother-in-law, go to Disney, and for the first time ever, we're going to Universal Studios. I am so excited to go to Universal Studios because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and I've been in California, but I've heard that it's much more magical. Well, I think it's just bigger and there's more stuff in Florida, so I'm really excited about that. So today, last day of work, last day to move out of our house because we're going to be closing while we're actually in Florida, or like right when we get back on our house. And so it's been a really crazy couple of days. Like, that's why I'm podcasting, and it is what time now? 10:30 at night. I still have to clean up and pack. It's a disaster everywhere, but you know what? It'll get done. And tomorrow, when we're on that plane flying to Florida, hopefully I have something great to drink in my hand. It's going to all be worth it. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to do a vlog. So I think I will show you guys a little bit about like how I bring stuff to travel and like on the airplane, because I've gotten questions about that too. Like, can you bring knitting on the airplane, and knitting that I'll bring to Disney and stuff. And I'll show you guys all that. It'll be really fun. That'll come out sometime next week. Okay. Did I miss anything? New York, Florida, last day of work. We move in April 1st. I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Maybe not here. I might do something on Instagram where I have like a little question box, because that's a little easier for me to answer than the YouTube comments. I'm going to try to get better about that. All right. Lastly, just bringing me joy right now. I have taken up, I have started reading. I've been finding really good books lately, and I've been reading late to the night. I think it's also because my schedule has changed, and that's allowed me to not be bone tired by 10 o'clock at night, because I'm not waking up at 5 every day anymore. But I've just been finding great books lately and reading them like crazy. I read 28 Summers, and I could not put that down. I think I read it in 4 days, 4 nights or something like that, which is not typical for me at all. Now I'm reading Ready Player 2, which is the sequel to Ready Player 1. If you I'm not really a video game person, but for some reason I love the detail in the books, and it's really good. So if you have read Ready Player One or Armada by Ernest Cline and you haven't started Ready Player Two, it's time. It is great. So anyway, that's been really bringing me joy lately, as well as just having some simple knitting around. It's been really, really good. All right, guys. If you're the winner, Sand, make sure to email me. Check out Skillshare down below. Check out the Magnolia Design company. And I'll see you next week, I think, for a vlog, but probably not a podcast because I'm going to be in Florida. No promises. We have episode 100 coming up soon. I'm kind of trying to hold out and make it in my first one in New York City. So I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your week. See you later.